How you guys doing today? Today I want to talk about a subject that I get a lot of questions for. And obviously, being in the debt collection industry for 15 years, I want to tell you what debt collectors can and cannot do. So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector, a subsidiary of Clear and Strategic. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from management to owning 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 10 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit. And now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. For those of you who are new to this channel, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's go. Before we get started into this topic, I just want to send a lot of positive energy and positive vibes to every single one of you guys who have clicked on this video. I know building your credit, cleaning up your credit has and can be a toll on you and everything that's happening. Just remember, keep pushing. I'm here to help. And there are a lot of other people out here on the internet that have a lot of great information with regards to debt and credit. But I just wanted to send you guys positive vibes with regards to cleaning up your credit, because it can be very stressful at times. But the reality is, with perseverance, belief, hard work, and dedication, and discipline, the most important thing of them all, you can get where you need to be as far as your credit goes. Now, let's get into what debt collectors can and cannot do. So I'm going to give you 5 things that they can and cannot do. So I'm going to give you what they can do and then what they can't do within the diaspora of this specific topic in each and every subject, okay? So number 1, a debt collector can call you at home, can call your cell phone number, and can call your work number, right? So understand that. A lot of times as a consumer, I remember when I was a debt collector, when you start making calls, one of the first things that I would get from consumers is you're fraud. This is a fraudulent call. This is a scam. But nevertheless, the reality is, and I want you to understand this, they can call you at home. They can call you at work, as well as they can call your cell phone number to get in contact with you. Now, that is what they can do. Now, what they can't do is call you before 8 in the morning and 9 p.m. your time. So I don't care if they're in California and you're in New York, they have to respect your time. So every single consumer can only be called from 8 a.m. in the morning all the way to 9 p.m. at night. They can't call you before 8 p.m. They can't call you after 8 a.m., They can't call you before 8 a.m. in the morning. They can't call you after 9 p.m. your time. Not their time, your time. So that's very key. Now, I know a lot of times when calls may happen, I remember I would get a call, it'd be area code, maybe let's say on Pacific Standard Time, but they move to Mountain Standard Time. In that case, it becomes a little elusive, but you let that consumer, you let that debt collector know that, hey, you're on Mountain Standard Time, you're not on Pacific Standard Time, and they have to honor what it is that you're saying with regards to that. 8 a.m. in the morning, 9 p.m. at night. The second thing you need to understand is debt collectors can contact you through email, letter, and now even text with regards to debt in general. So understand that they can contact you those other ways. So they can contact you by phone, and they can contact you basically through email, letter, and text. Those are ways that they can contact you. But what they can't do is deceive you, contact you and deceive you, like implying that they're going to sue you or implying that they're going to do anything that they don't actually plan on doing. And one of the major things that they cannot do is harass you. Now, harassment is sort of kind of one of those things that can be gray area. They could be doing it or not doing it, but understand they can't repeatedly call you back to back to back to back, constantly send you text messages, constantly send you emails and so forth, constantly contact your work and so forth with regards to that. They cannot do that at all. Now, understand something. I do have down below a free cease and desist letter that you can actually send to debt collection agencies. What this will do is they will stop the actual calls, emails, and texts and so forth with regards to your situation. Now, understand something. Everything comes with a consequence. I wouldn't recommend sending a cease and desist letter to a debt collection agency if, in fact, you look up that collection agency and they can sue you and your account is within the statute of limitation. Now, how you find out if your account is in the statute of limitation is you could just look at your state and put in for a, let's say a credit card bill, how long can someone sue me for that? Not the statute of limitation with regards to the 7 years that is mandated across the board with regards to everyone. I'm talking about suit. Because if you send a company a cease and desist letter and your account is in the statute of limitation with regards to suit, that sets you up for grounds of being sued right off the bat. It makes it a lot easier for the debt collection agency to actually sue you. So because you send the cease and desist letter, they are able to send you correspondence to let you know that, hey, we're going to sue you or whatever the circumstances. I've seen it happen across the board with a lot of people, and I just want to forewarn you for that. Because a lot of times, as a consumer, you think, okay, cease and desist, let's send them a cease and desist letter. They get the cease and desist letter, and you think, okay, now it's all over. I will repeat, and I want you to listen to this. If your account is in the statute of limitation with regards to suit, they can, in fact, sue you once you send that cease and desist letter. You lose all grounds with regards to settling the account and handling the account on a different situation. So take that into caution when sending a cease and desist letter to a debt collection agency. The third thing that debt collectors can do is they can discuss your debt with your spouse. Yes, they can. Now, one of the things, it's sort of kind of slippery slope. Obviously, if you guys are separated or something along those lines, they're not able to do so. But the reason why they're able to disclose the information with your spouse who you're currently married to, living with, and in a relationship with, is this. If a suit happens with regards to a lawsuit concerning you, the consumer, and your spouse is in the same situation, you have to understand when the debt is done, a lot of times debt can be transferred to the spouse. A lot of times with regards to suits, you can possibly be included depending on what state you're in. But third-party disclosure, which is contacting someone outside of yourself or your spouse, is not legal, which means that they can't contact your cousin and tell them, hey, I'm calling you with regards to your cousin who owes us this debt, or anything along those lines with regards to that. They can't third party disclose. Now, one of the things that we did do is we would contact a third party, whether it's a relative or a friend, and say, hey, my name is whatever, Joe Smo, and I'm trying to get in contact with the consumer. And a lot of times those third parties will ask, well, what is this in concerning? If you're doing it correctly, a debt collection agency will say, we can't disclose the matter, but it is important that you do get a message to the consumer. Now, if they do third party disclose, which means they contact the third party and then they tell them specifically why they're calling you, like you owe a debt on a Capital One credit card, and you can actually prove that is a violation of the FDCPA, you can file a suit and go after that debt collection agency. But understand, they can contact your spouse and disclose the reason why they're contacting you. They can disclose that to yourself or your spouse and no one else, no other person outside of that. The fourth thing debt collection agencies can do is they can contact your work and verify your place of employment. Yes, they can do that. Obviously, they're going to do that. Sometimes it's used as like a scare tactic with regards to trying to get in contact with you. I've done that on a couple of occasions. I will contact the work, get a supervisor or something on the phone, ask if, in fact, you as the debtor, if you still do, in fact, work there. And you could do one of two things. One of the things I would say is there any way you can get a message to this individual? And then I'll just leave my name and number. And then a lot of times that'll help the consumer to possibly pay. Another thing is I would just call and say, hey, I'm verifying the place of employment for Joe Smo to see if in fact they still do work there. They may give the information, they may not give the information. Nowadays, it's sort of kind of hard to verify POE because a lot of companies, they won't do it over the phone. They want, in some states, they want the actual consumer has to sign a release form to give that information to you with regards to your place of employment. And there are other things, but understand they can contact you. My first job I've ever had getting into the debt collection industry was I was a legal verifier. All I did was skip trace people, find out if they have a place of employment or if they owned any assets. And if so, we automatically sent it to the legal department and they started to file suit on every single account that was suit worthy here in the state of California. So they can call and verify your work. Just if you do tell them to stop, to not contact you specifically at work, you can let them know verbally or send a cease and desist letter, which I have down below. Click the link, opt in, and you can get that information. You just plug in your information. The verbiage in the letter is already there, and it'll make that situation easy for you. But understand, you send a cease and desist letter, make sure it's not on an account that you can be sued, and make sure who the collection agency you're sending it to is not a collection agency that actually files suits on accounts. And then the fifth thing that I want you to understand is debt collection agencies can sue you. There's a lot of stuff going out there with regards to your account being charged off and the debt collection agency not being able to have it and collect on your behalf and so forth. And yes, there are some loopholes with regards to that. You could possibly get out of the debt, but understand, if you were trying to apply for a house or a brand new car and you had a debt collection account on your credit report, that can stop you from being approved for that car. And even more specifically with regards to a mortgage, getting approved for a mortgage through a mortgage lender, if they see you have collection accounts, they're going to tell you to pay them. If you have any judgments, and the reason why is because they want to protect the asset. And a lot of times when collection agencies find out that you own an asset, especially like a home, they can place a lien on that property and you won't be able to do anything with that property, sell it, refinance it, or anything along those lines until you pay that judgment if a judgment is rendered on that behalf. So debt collection agencies can sue you with regards to charge-off accounts, profit and loss accounts, and so on and so forth with regards to accounts that have been sent to collections. So don't let anyone out there fool you and say you can't. I worked for a company for about 3 or 4 years where all they did was lawsuits. They sued every single person, and it can happen to you. So debt collection agencies can sue you. Now, down below, I have a free 30-minute consultation. If you're swarmed with debt, you don't know what to do, you have debt collection agencies contacting you left and right with regards to debt that you have, and you're at the brink of filing bankruptcy. Before filing bankruptcy, sign up for a 20-minute free consultation with me. I'll look over your information and I'll let you know, hey, given your circumstance and your situation, if in fact we'll be able to help you, I will be honest with you with regards to that. And it never hurts to get a 20-minute free consultation with regards to your credit. Another thing that I have down below is a DIY credit repair packet. Those are for people who can't necessarily or don't necessarily want to pay a professional to do it. You have enough knowledge with regards to sending the letters. You just need some type of guidance with regards to that. Down below is a credit repair packet that you can pay for that I do have on sale. Click the link, opt in for that. Now, if you have any questions about credit or debt, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. And as I always state, you be great.